D-Day was one of the most critical moments in World War II. On June 6, 1944, the Allied forces launched the largest amphibious invasion in history, storming the beaches of Normandy, France. This day marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany, as it opened a crucial second front in Europe. But with Germany's strong defenses along the Atlantic Wall, why did they fail to stop the invasion? The German military had spent years preparing for an Allied attack. They built extensive fortifications along the coast, known as the Atlantic Wall, and had thousands of troops stationed to repel any invasion. Yet, despite these preparations, the Allies managed to break through their defenses and establish a foothold in Normandy. This raises an important question. What went wrong for Germany on D-Day? Today, we'll explore the key reasons behind Germany's failure on that fateful day. From strategic miscalculations and Allied deception to poor leadership and lack of coordination, we'll uncover the factors that led to one of history's most decisive defeats. The Germans were confident in their Atlantic Wall defenses, a massive line of fortifications stretching along the coast of Western Europe. Built over several years, this defense system included bunkers, gun emplacements, minefields, and obstacles designed to stop any Allied invasion. They believed this wall was impenetrable and that it would force the Allies to think twice before attempting to invade. However, this confidence would prove to be misplaced. One of the major issues was Hitler's strategic decisions. He overstretched German forces along the Atlantic Wall by trying to defend the entire coastline. Instead of concentrating his troops where an invasion was most likely, he spread them thin across hundreds of miles. This left many areas underdefended and vulnerable. Hitler also underestimated the possibility of an invasion in Normandy. He believed the Allies would target Pas de Calais, a shorter and more obvious route across the English Channel. This miscalculation allowed the Allies to catch the Germans off guard. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, one of Germany's most capable commanders, recognized these weaknesses. He understood that the Atlantic Wall alone would not stop the Allies and pushed for more resources, including tanks and reinforcements, closer to the front. However, his requests were often ignored or delayed, leaving him frustrated and unable to fully prepare for the invasion. The Allies used a clever plan called Operation Fortitude to fool the Germans into thinking the invasion would happen at Pas de Calais, not Normandy. They created fake armies, including inflatable tanks and dummy landing craft, and even sent false radio messages to reinforce the deception. German intelligence believed the ruse, keeping their strongest forces in Pas de Calais. This left Normandy less defended, allowing the Allies to catch the Germans off guard on D-Day. One of the biggest problems for Germany was Hitler's insistence on centralized control. He wanted to make every major decision himself, which caused delays when the invasion began. German commanders on the ground couldn't move reinforcements like the powerful panzer tank divisions without Hitler's direct orders. By the time the reinforcements were approved, it was too late to stop the Allied forces from gaining ground. The Allies dominated the skies on D-Day. Their bombers had spent months destroying German supply lines, bridges, and communication networks. This made it hard for the Germans to send reinforcements or supplies to the front. On the beaches, Allied planes attacked German positions, further weakening their defenses and making it nearly impossible for the Germans to organize a strong counterattack. The Germans underestimated how well prepared and coordinated the Allies were. They believed the invasion force would be smaller and less organized. Instead, the Allies landed over 150,000 troops on D-Day, supported by massive naval and air forces. The Germans were overwhelmed by the scale of the attack and the determination of the Allied soldiers. The German army struggled with coordination during the D-Day invasion. Units had poor communication and conflicting orders, with some commanders hesitating to act without approval. This slow, scattered response gave the Allies more time to establish their position. Allied sabotage of German communication networks made matters worse. Paratroopers destroyed telephone lines, and resistance fighters disrupted railways, leaving many German units confused and unable to respond effectively. On the ground, German soldiers in Normandy lacked strong leadership. Officers were caught off guard and couldn't organize their troops, leading to disorganized defenses that the Allies easily overcame. The Second Front in Europe opened with the Allied invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, was key to Germany's defeat in World War II. It forced Germany to split its forces between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union, weakening its ability to defend effectively. This two-pronged attack disrupted German supply lines and morale, giving the Allies a direct route to liberate occupied Europe and advance toward Germany. By 1944, Germany was already struggling with heavy losses on the Eastern Front, resource shortages, and Allied bombing. The Second Front accelerated its decline, allowing the Allies to liberate France and push Germany into a defensive position. Overwhelmed on multiple fronts and facing Allied air superiority, Germany surrendered in May 1945. Germany's chances of victory were slim after 1941, as it underestimated the strength of the Allies and overextended its forces. Strategic mistakes, including invading the Soviet Union and declaring war on the US, ensured its defeat. Even without a second front, Allied resources and Germany's internal weaknesses made success unlikely.